There's been a real paradigm shift, I think, and I do see that some parents are struggling to make that shift themselves, but it's really important now that we understand that instead of the goal being the elimination and making sure that absolutely no one transmits this virus, that we understand that it is going around, it's no one's fault if they've unknowingly transmitted it, and that for children going to their classroom, we are doing everything we can to keep them safe, to teach them the positive things that they can do, and we're doing all we can, but if we do get it, we know that it is a mild illness in children that we're seeing. There's nothing for them to be worried about, but I think one of the main things is, as parents, we stay very calm and we talk to our children calmly about it, that they might be very frightened if they hear that one of their friends has tested positive, that we can just really calm them down and say, it's okay, it's all right. We know this, their mum's looking after them, they're in isolation, they're going to be okay.
Schools are doing all sorts of things in this space, sometimes well above and beyond what they should be, and again that comes down to that wanting to be overcautious and overprotective in uncertain times. But everything schools are doing ultimately does flow down through the Chief Health Officer. So the important message here is that schools aren't just making things up and walking to a class and say, we've got a positive case here, everyone has to go home. So it boils down to, from year 3 and up, we know students are wearing masks. If the masks are worn appropriately and teachers are regularly, and teachers are also wearing them as I explained before, not off for 15 minutes, close contact with a child, not off for more than 2 hours in an environment, then ideally no one in that classroom should be identified as a close contact. That's a very easy decision for a school principal to make in conjunction with a classroom teacher. Were all masks on? Was yours on? There's no close contacts. When it gets to year 2, year 1, where there aren't students wearing masks, it then becomes a matter of who was close to who was working with who, and in most cases that's where we've in fact sent entire classes home. But with the new heavy caseload, it could be a case of going home, getting a RAT test, coming back the following day. So there are some quick strategies that schools are using. Playground becomes quite difficult. And that's where I think there has been a little bit of pushback and angst around how have you identified my child as a close contact, and really that boils down to talking to children as best we can. Kindy students and pre-primary students are very rarely going to remember who they played with and was it for more than 15 minutes. So again, schools are going to err on the side of caution. Just say we believe your children were playing together at recess time. A child has tested positive, which might mean your child is a close contact. So there's that conversation that takes place around it might make sense to do a RAT test, see if they're asymptomatic and negative, and return. But all of that information does certainly come through Chief Health Officer, through the Department of Education, through the school principals.
There will be a vaccine available for this age group, but we just don't know when. So I think it's important to be aware that that's coming. Until then, I think there are a lot of things that we can do. And something that I've observed that they do in daycares is really teach kids well how to catch their coughs in the crook of their elbow, as well as wash hands. And those are 2 things that we can be doing with the youngest of children to help them learn what we call respiratory etiquette. And they're probably better at it than almost every adult that I do know. The other things that we can do, I think, for this age group is making sure that we're keeping other children home from daycare or places where they're mixing if they've got symptoms. That obviously helps everyone stay healthy. And the routine child vaccinations, whilst they might not be the ones that are going to protect from COVID, the flu vaccine season is about to start, and we do recommend flu vaccine for the children under 5 from 6 months to 5-year-old for that particular age group who can't access the COVID vaccine as yet. So there are many other things that we should be doing and can be doing to help protect them both from COVID as well as from other infections.